All right, welcome back. We continue right here with the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call on Pittsburgh CW. It's the Borders and Borders hotline, 412-575-2600. Gene, I want to ask you about how the Cubs won a game last night. It was really unbelievable. Max Scherzer had just dominated them. They had like 2 hits going into the bottom of the ninth. They trailed 3-0, so Ryan Madson comes in. There's an error. He hits a batter, hits another batter, and then a grand slam by David Bote, which was unbelievable. He apologized today for the bat flip. And my question to you is, why apologize? He's a rookie, so what? He did it because he was exuberant, excited. It was raw emotion. Why apologize?
It was a very genuine moment. I mean, who gets to do that? Hit a grand slam when your team's down 3 runs at home in the ninth. I mean, that's the ultimate. And he was just very excited, and that's the way he went around the bases. I had no problem with it at all. What I had a problem with was the Nationals leaving Ryan Madson in there after he hit the second batter. I mean, he hits one more. Come on, that made no sense to me at all. I was watching the game. I had it on mute because I can't stand to listen to Alex Rodriguez. But I hope they brought that up at that point because that was terrible.
All right, let me ask, before we go, we have Mark DiStefano on a tweet. He sends a bunch of hot dogs. He says, hey, had these on the grill last night, really good with a salad and some corn on the cob. Really looking forward to the Ryder Cup. So that's, you see, with golf.
Wonderful.
Hot dogs. Thank you very much for some visual stimulation there, Mark DiStefano. We appreciate it.
We'll put them up on the screen for you next time.
Andrea in Munhall's first. What's up, Andrea? How are you?
Oh, hi. I just wanted to get your two's take on something. You just talked about it when you were talking about that game between the Nationals and the Cubs. I just don't understand, and I've seen it too many times. We have that extra innings, and I see all these different games. And this same thing keeps coming up. These starting pitchers are taken out just because they are either near 100 pitches or something like that. Out they go.
Right.
And he took Scherzer out last night.
What was his pitch count? Do you know? Because I don't remember. I didn't see it.
What did you say, hon?
What was his pitch count? Do you know? Because I didn't see it.
No, but I think he was pretty high up there. And then the announcer said he wants to stay in there another inning. And they just took him out because I think they were ahead by a couple runs. And I guess the manager thought it would be okay to put Madson in. Everything would be okay. Well, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't, Andrea. And you make a good point. Thank you for calling, because I've been saying this for a while. I am so tired of pitch counts dictating decisions just because I think they overdo it. It's come from, you know, G, do you remember, I brought this up the other night, Tom Walker, Neil's father, was once with the Montreal Expos organization, threw a 15-inning, in the minors I think it was, a 15-inning no-hitter. He pitched all 15 innings. Now, I understand that's crazy today, there's too much money, but still, you get up to 70, 80, 90 pitches, and immediately they thought, uh-oh, you're going to be taken out because we have a 7th inning and an 8th inning and a 9th inning guy.
Well, it doesn't,
you like it?
No, I've always disliked it, but what's going on there is strictly financial. These teams have so much invested in these players, particularly pitchers. Pitchers are so expensive. There's so much money invested in them. Nobody wants to make the mistake of having him pitch 1 throw too many, 1 inning too many, and be second-guessed for, you know, the pitcher declining after that. Nobody wants to do it. It's really ridiculous. There are more pitchers on the disabled list now than ever before. You know, I guess it was 100 years ago, but it doesn't seem like, I mean, people used to pitch 28, 30 complete games in a year. I read today in this date in baseball where somebody for the Boston Braves, I think, pitched 2 complete games in a doubleheader. And he was, I'm sure he was a smaller man who was not nearly well as trained, and I'll bet he pitched for another 10 years.
I think, having talked about this now, back a few years ago, because the Washington Nationals have not done what they wanted to do, and Mike Rizzo, you wonder how he still has his job all the time. They may not make the playoffs this year, but they shut down Steven Strasburg. Remember when they did that? Because they were afraid of doing it. Right in the middle of the pennant race, and they never got beyond where they should have gotten. I look back at that and think, again, if you're worried about the money so much that you're in a position to win now and you can't let that guy pitch, there's something wrong.
Yeah, that's just wrong. It's a real slap at the fans, especially in Washington, where they haven't had a pennant in, what, 100 years.
Yep. Johnny in Swissvale, what's up? Johnny.
Yes, sir, Bob. Great host, great writer, and great staff.
Yeah, that's
I want to tell you, I'm not real interested in golf, but I heard Koepka won the golf tournament. And I'm from Swissvale, and Arnold Koepka was our gym teacher, yeah, in the early 60s, and Willie Curry was our principal. Both married Dick Grote's sister. And I told my cousin, Bart, that's the picture that's really the kept. And early this morning on KDK News, they said that Dick Grote was kept his great uncle.
No,
and
yeah,
man, I was
right.
so
He was a
excited.
nephew.
I said, look at that. You have a heck of a show.
All right, man. Thanks. We got into some marital family trees there. I didn't know.
Yeah, Dick Grote is Brooks Koepka's great uncle.
Yes, he is.
But I don't think that two people married his sister.
Hey, you pitched
Although,
15
hey.
innings in one game, you know, back then. Anyway, let's go to line 5. Diana in Washington. What's up, Diana? How are you?
Hi, Bob. I just wanted to comment on Tiger Woods. I guess him coming in third was quite a statement, but I could have really done without him crying several times like a baby.
Where did he cry? I didn't even see any of that.
Oh, the last part of the game.
Why does that bother you? It's an emotional, you know, he's
Okay,
back.
well,
He hadn't done this in 10
I
years.
could see it one time, all right? But he did it at least 3 times because he was upset. He almost threw his club.
He didn't, you're talking. You said cry. I mean, he was mad. You're talking about an outburst of emotion. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but again, not just one time.
Well, listen, he's come far away. Thanks for the call, Gene. Than when he would actually be heard just using profanity and throwing things. And I never liked that look anyway. He was upset when he hit that drive on 16, and he almost hit it in the creek. It got actually avoided it, and he made par anyway. I understand. It's emotion, just like I don't have a problem with the bat flip. Do you?
No, as I said, I had no problem with the bat flip. I mean, it's been a long time for Tiger. I'm really only interested in when he does cry, really.
All right, we're out to Clint in Altoona, who joins us right now. Hey, Clint, how are you?
Very good. How you guys doing?
Good, thanks.
Good. I listen to you guys talking about the pitchers and everything, but I got to talk about the Pirates in the middle of the road trip and everything. Now they're at Minnesota now, 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I don't know. I know they're big league teams and everything, but they got to win 2 against Minnesota. They're awful.
They do.
I mean, and I thought they'd win at least 3 or 4 against the Giants, but you know they're sort of close as far as wins go. The Clay Holmes outing obviously was, didn't go so great. It's a chances yesterday came back a little bit at the end there, but everybody's talking maybe about a 5-7 or 2 road trip or something. But I got a feeling they're to end up, win one, lose one, and
can't afford to do that in the position they're in. That's what I've been saying.
I mean,
they had a homestand recently where they won 4-5. Thank you for the call, Gene. They have 7 coming up: 4 against the Cubs, 3 against the Braves. The Braves own the second wild card. The Cubs own the division. How many do they have to win?
6.
That's what I said. 6 out of 7. You can't go less than that. Just because
Not at this stage,
By the way, Kel Hammer on Twitter. He's always a regular viewer. We appreciate that. He said Scherzer pitch count was 106. So let me ask you.
Oh.
He should have been in the game then. Given how bad the bullpen has been for Washington, they could certainly go back and talk about trading Felipe Rivero, who is now Vasquez.
Sure.
They shouldn't have done that, as it turns out.
Did Scherzer work 8 innings? He came out right before the 9th?
I suppose, yeah. Okay. I know that whatever he did, he was flawless. Yeah. 2 hits, I think, he allowed. So if it was 106 going into the 9th, then shame on them for doing that. I would have stuck with him.
Yep.
And there was no signs that he was leaking oil, as they say. We're going to take a break. We come back with more and more of your phone calls right here live on Pittsburgh CW.